we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.
Hi everyone, welcome to another homesteading family vlog. So we got an interesting phone call this morning. Our 100 meat birds are in. Unfortunately, we weren't ready for them because they weren't supposed to come for 2 more days. So today's plan was to get all the chick stuff ready, and instead we're frantically getting it ready because Matt is on his way home with 100 baby chicks. You excited? Mm-hmm. So last time we had baby chicks, we've never actually had meat birds before. This is our first time. The last time we had new laying hens, we put them in an extra area out by the chicken coop. We just kind of have that. We have one side closed off for the big chickens and one side for the baby chicks. But, do you guys know how cold it is outside?
Yeah, very cold. When we went out there,
it is like in the low 20s today. So it's the worst time to be putting baby chicks outside. So instead we're gonna set up an area here in the garage, which thankfully we just got it kind of cleaned up. So it shouldn't take too long. We're gonna get this area set up. And then Matt's coming home with the baby chick. So we ended up getting all of that set up and Matt's not quite home, so I'm so glad we got that done already. We've got to get these lights figured out and set up. Got their waterers here, are ready. I added a splash of apple cider vinegar. We just always do that with baby chicks. Good gut health, just like for us and our pets, for them. And I couldn't find the feeders for the baby chicks, so I grabbed some jars and Matt's gonna pick up a couple feeders while he gets the chicks. So the chicks are here. We're doing the last couple of things on their little setup, making sure the light bulbs are working, and we've got their food and water to put in here. What are you excited about?
it's gonna be a lot of chicks.
How many?
100.
Evan, are all the chicks for us?
Yes.
No. You know who's gonna share them with us?
Oh.
Your godparent.
Yeah.
Hey Lydia,
What?
are you excited?
Yeah.
Hey Eli, are you excited?
Yeah. I'm blue. Yeah.
It's blue, it's red. Red lights in there. We just gotta get the chicks in there.
Yeah. Mom.
Hi, sweetheart.
Want to pet it? Come here.
Dip them in the water.
Want to bring this to Mom?
Yeah. Mom has 100 and there's
hand.
one more.
So they gave us one extra. They usually do.
No, bring it to
Or it's
Mom.
exactly 100 because I wasn't sure. Good job! So what do you guys think?
Cool. Yeah, really cool. Yeah, I like baby chicks.
So
Got
who's...
some so fuzzy.
Lydia was naming them, and Leroy said, how are you going to remember their names? And she said, Fuzzy, Fuzzy, Fuzzy. She's naming them all Fuzzy.
And one Stinky.
Oh, and one Stinky. Oh, man. Who wants to be named Stinky?
And one Thinky Bell.
So we got the chicks. This will be our first time doing butchering chickens on our property. Normally we always do it with my uncle. But we're trying it totally different this year. It didn't work out for us to do it with him this year, so we're doing it ourselves, and we're gonna do it on the grass and see how much it all costs and see how it all goes. So the feeders, I normally get the ones that screw on the bottom of the jars, but they were all out, so I just got these. The reason why I don't like these is they waste so much food, but at this age, it's just kind of just feed them as much as you can and get them growing. once we get them out on the grass, then we'll be feeding them wet feed. We have them in the garage because there is a cold spell right now, cold snap. So once this cold snap's done with, it won't be in the 20s for the low, it's going to be in the 30s and 40s. And then we'll put them out in that second chicken coop that I have. And then once they're fully feathered, we'll take the lights off and we're going to put them on grass.
So, we know somebody's going to ask, 100 chickens is a lot to butcher, right? So we're actually butchering with another family, and 30 of these are for them. That leaves 70 for us. We're expecting, since it's our first year, that we're going to lose a few, but our hope is to get about 50 birds, because we figure 52 weeks a year, that's 1 chicken a week. For us, a family of 6, that's not even a lot. We're still trying to see if they're getting warm enough from the heat lamp and not too warm. We don't want chicken nuggets yet, right, Leroy?
No.
So last night, I was getting ready to go to bed and realized I hadn't fed my sourdough for a while, and I opened it up and both jars are completely full of mold. We had somebody over the other day and I put the sourdough up in the cupboard and I forgot about it for a few days. The jars were really gunky and they needed to be replaced, and some mold started on the sides and it got down into my sourdough. And maybe some of you out there would save it. I know it's really hard to actually get mold on sourdough starter. I can't believe this happened, but it did last 15 months. Started it last January, so this was 15 months old. So I'm just taking it as an opportunity to start over, remember how to make it, and I'm actually going to try a few different methods, I think, to start over with my sourdough starter and use a higher quality flour, because this was just some cheap all-purpose flour. In fact, it was bleached flour because that's all I could find in bulk. So I'm just going to take this opportunity to do that, and it's kind of sad though. When I really think about it, the last year or so, the only sandwich bread that we had was made with this starter. And we had just found just the greatest pizza recipe for pizza dough with it. So I'm really kind of bummed to start over, but just taking it as an opportunity to learn from. I didn't love doing it in jars. I'm gonna look into some other ideas. If you have any great tips or advice on starter, will you leave a comment down below? Oh, it is such a beautiful day. Crazy to think last night it got down to 16 degrees. Yikes. I'm headed out to the greenhouse this morning because it looks like we're finally going to have some better temps. What Matt and I did last night with the cold weather coming is we just covered this bed here in plastic. We just kind of wrapped over the top. We brought all of our seedlings that had sprouted in the house. The ones that haven't are still out here, and I am a little nervous about them. Most of them are pepper plants, and it's been almost 2 weeks since we planted them. Granted, usually it'll take me well over a week to get a pepper to sprout, so I'm not gonna worry just yet about them, but hopefully this warm weather we've got coming is going to help. The unheated bed, we just covered it back up with the plastic tarp, so that's all coming off now. It is just raining in here. There's so much water. That tarp was just covered in puddles of water. These little trees are just amazing me. This is one of those little apple trees. See that? This is one of those little apple trees. They're just amazing me. Look at all those leaves. I wish I would have planted, I planted one of these in a clear container, but I wish I would have planted a few in clear cups so I could see how their roots are doing, so I would be more comfortable planting them outside eventually. I had forgotten we put a few seedlings under here that we were concerned about. So these were a few of our kohlrabi that had just started sprouting and our cauliflower that just started sprouting. I'm gonna go grab those onions and those other sprouts and get them up on the shelf. So we got our broccoli and cabbage I'm bringing out now, and it's so tempting. There's 3 little perfect broccoli sprouts in one of these cells, and then 2 more right in front of it that didn't come up, and it's so tempting to just like carefully pluck them and try to replant them. I know most people don't do that, but I just, whatever you can get out of something, right? And I'm so tempted to do it now, but I just saw we got a new broccoli sprout during the night, so I guess I'll just wait, because maybe these other ones are going to come up yet too. So Matt and I have been talking a lot about our seed starting this year and my worries with the peppers and things like that. But last year was our first year starting seeds in a very long time. And our first real successful year starting seeds, and we kept everything inside under lights, not necessarily grow lights, but under lights. And we got a big pile to burn. It's been kind of windy, so that hasn't happened yet. This was some brush from taking down some trees. We've been talking about that a little bit, that it is kind of a pain in the butt right now as far as bringing things in at night, taking them out during the day, and all of that. But at the same time, I know it's temporary. So I'm trying to remind myself that this temporary pain that we're feeling right now is going to go away. So hopefully that it just kind of, the weather evens out a little bit, and then it'll be nice having them all in the hoop house and have everything started out here, not having the mess in the house or the worry with that. So,
but just crazy to think 150 chickens we have now.